Hey there, Cheesemeisters, and welcome back to the Peach Pod. That would have been Wedding Bell Blues by the Fifth Dimension. That was playing quite on the nosedly at the Peach Pit when Dylan and Brandon get in a fight. They don't get in a fight. Come on. The description is stupid.
What?
Yeah, they don't get in a fight.
No.
Brandon just tells Dylan that Jim's right, and Jim is kind of right.
Yeah.
I'm Jeff, and I personally love not being invited to weddings. I wish Dylan felt the same.
Wow.
And joining me on the other end of the internet is my host.
I'm Leslie, and I just had a very disturbing phone call from Cindy Walsh.
I wonder if there's a phone call you could get from Cindy that wouldn't be disturbing. You know, like Cindy doesn't seem like the call you up and chat type.
Unless it's people back home, maybe.
Yeah. She definitely calls people in Minnesota and tells them that it's 90 degrees at Christmas.
Yeah.
We've seen her do that. But even that's like, she's just calling a bitch. So
Can you blame her? Her kids made her feel stupid this week.
they really did. Sometimes Cindy is stupid, but I think we have parenting to talk about in this episode.
Yeah.
This episode is the season finale of season 2, episode 28, Wedding Bell Blues, where we get the culmination of season-long story arcs that started 4 episodes ago.
Yeah. I was like, wait, season-long story arcs? Oh, I get where you're going.
Yeah, I mean, although I think that there is something to talk about there.
Sure.
I do think that there were some season-long things that we should look at and sort of see where people were at the beginning and where they are now at the end of the season and see what has happened. Because there has been some growth for some of the characters.
For some.
So what happens in this episode?
We finally get the wedding of the century, the decade, probably.
Is it?
Everyone is so... It shouldn't be.
No.
I mean, the fact that on the car they had the sign "just married again," I'm like, okay, so you all have a good sense of humor, but like you're still... I don't get it. It's just people throwing around money at this point.
They won't stop talking about how many times they've been married.
Yeah, because it's kind of like that thing people do when they're really self-conscious about a thing, so they just they say it more than you because me saying it means I'm okay with it and you can't hurt me.
Right. Yeah. No, it's what Tyrion tells Jon Snow, right?
What?
Wait, did you not watch Game of Thrones?
No, I watched it. I've just blocked out the last season.
Oh, this is first season shit. This is when they first meet, like the first episode, when Tyrion's, what's his name, right?
Peter Dinklage?
Yeah. God, I don't know why his name went away. Right? That's Tyrion? Not
Yeah.
Or some other Lannister. It's been a minute. When he first meets Jon Snow and he's like, I take the sting out of being called small by talking about how small I am. I own it, so they can't hurt me with it. You do the same with being a bastard.
Yeah. Got it.
That's what the advice is. This is how 90210 and Game of Thrones are inextricably linked. Just like
Oh God. I'm worried for the final season.
Oh man. You probably should be, but not for those reasons. So, yeah, we have the wedding that everybody talks about. Oh, I think we know how to do this. We know this part. She's been divorced 3 times and he's been divorced once. Between the two of them, they've beat the odds. This marriage is perfect. Like, just shut up. We get it. If you really meant it, I'm getting fired up. If you really meant that this is like the 90th wedding that the two of you have been involved in, then calm the fuck down. Like, have a smaller wedding. Don't be stupid about it. This is ridiculous.
I feel like she hit the nail on the head when she was telling Kelly, like, we should just be like Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. They never saw the reason. Like, I really, in real life and on TV, I'm tired, and I know this is 30 years old now, but still. I'm tired of the trope that just because people are pregnant means they have to get married. It's like, that is a recipe for disaster. I do not believe in this marriage. Like,
Right.
I'm not invested in Jackie and Mel at all because I've seen the adults on this show.
A lot this season. And like, to be fair to Jackie and Mel, you don't want to have a bastard because then you got to send him to the wall.
Oh my God.
And Mel wanted to marry Jackie before even his secretary knew that Jackie was pregnant. So like, he's not getting married because of the pregnancy, because Jackie didn't want that. But I don't know. I mean, they wouldn't get married so fast if she wasn't pregnant.
They're hiding from their own problems. Like, he still is getting over a divorce, or I feel like he should be.
I'm not even sure the ink is dry.
Huh?
I'm not even sure the ink is dry on the paperwork.
Oh, right? And then Jackie is still recovering, and addiction is a lifelong recovery, but she's barely a year out.
Right. Yeah, you're not supposed to make any big relationship decisions in that first year, as I understand
Ooh.
it. And she's like, guess what? Marrying a dentist. Guess what? Bun in the oven. Lots of changes. Yeah. So, but that, like, this episode is called Wedding Bell Blues. And it ends with the wedding, and there's a bunch of wedding shit in the middle, but it's not about the wedding. Like,
No.
did we even see them say I do? I'm not sure we did.
We see some of the rehearsal dinner. No, because right as they're doing all the important stuff, it naturally becomes about Brenda and her wanting to marry Dylan, which I'm like, you're fucking 16. Calm down. I don't think I ever thought about marrying my high school boyfriend other than passing like, oh, I wonder if this will last that long.
Right. No, I never thought about marrying my high school girlfriend. Not in high school, for sure.
Certainly not in high school.
Yeah, not even when we were still dating in college. Sorry, Erica. I wasn't thinking about getting married. This wasn't. That was because I was 19 or whatever. Like, silliness.
I think I only thought about it just because, unfortunately, that seed is planted in young women early. Like,
Sure.
you know, what kind of wedding do you want and everything? And it's like, I'm 10. Why are you asking me this question? And same in high school, like,
All of the good bands are booked up years in advance. That's why.
well, most of the bands are probably going to be broken up by then. So,
Well, so Kelly has a point. I mean, really, you got to give them a reason to stay together. Give them that gig in 6 years, and then they won't break up.
why we're going to elope.
There you go. So the episode starts with as the description that you read way too early. Jim goes to Mexico to pick up Brenda and Dylan.
Yeah. It's like,
Wait a minute. This episode's called Wedding. What are you talking about?
they're in Mexico. You get married in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he picks him up, and when this episode, I swear to Christ, there's so much back and forth with the way people feel about what they did and what other people have done in this episode that it's so hard to keep track, like, mentally and emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Because it starts with Brenda being like, shit, I fucked this up. Like, I'm such a moron.
But only because she got caught.
Oh yeah, of course. No
She
one
doesn't feel bad. She's like, I'm such an idiot for not bringing my driver's license. Is that why you're an idiot, Brenda?
I mean, it's a reason that she's an idiot for sure.
Not the main reason.
No, but it's the one that gets them in trouble. You know,
Yes.
So I understand why she's like, this is my moment of stupidity. Like, this was my own petard that I got hung upon. I left my license with the guy who stuck a rifle in my face. Yeah. But maybe don't go to Baja until your license comes in. Like, or, all right, these two got to calm the fuck down. Like,
yeah.
with the only reason that any of this is an emergency is because it's the end of the season and we got to do this shit. Like, you could have just gone to Baja later. Like, you could have waited. You could have waited until Jim and Cindy weren't mad at you. You could have waited till you had permission. You could have waited until you had a driver's license. You could have waited. All of it. Baja's still going to be there.
Mm-hmm. It's not falling off yet.
No, just because the bay is dirty doesn't mean that you like have to go right now and surf. You could have just waited a little bit. And that's true all throughout. Like, everything that happens in this episode is because everybody's in a big fucking hurry.
Yeah.
But Jim shows up to pick them up, and they're making out in the police station. These two fucking horn dogs. I mean, I get it. I was a teenage horn dog, but calm down, guys.
I mean, yeah, I would have been like, ooh, you know what? We're in a new place, and we got some time to kill, and it's pre-smartphones. Let's make out.
This table feels sturdy.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but, I mean, dear
Is that
Lord.
a two-way mirror?
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
That's right. Let us show you how we do it at not Beverly High School, West Beverly. Did you hear that, by the way? I kind of love how that's become a running gag in the show. There's some ADR off to the side during the wedding of two women having a conversation, and you don't see who they are, but one of them says, "So your daughter goes to Beverly?" "No, West Beverly." "Oh." Like, it's constant.
I missed that, but yeah, I have noted the moments where they correct and go, West Bev. It's like, chill, we get it. You have money. Y'all think you're better than Beverly High.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is, Beverly High exists and West Beverly doesn't, so.
That felt like a very, shots fired here, but that felt like, I would imagine if there might be a Central High and then North Central, and the North Central people would be the ones who are like, North Central.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But of course, if I had a choir competition, I would be like, no, I know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That's right. So Jim picks him up and takes him home and is like, I don't want you seeing each other. Like, he reads him the riot act in the living room. Like, correctly so, Jim is pissed the fuck off. And Cindy is pissed off, and Brandon is just watching this car wreck. And, like, trying to stay out of it, even though he's a little bit in it. Like, this is not a Brandon episode. Like, Brandon prefers to be not a part of any of this.
Which, really, he should have been punished as well. But, yeah, I'm not even going to backtrack on that. They should have both been punished. One a little more than the other. But, they're not really proving Brenda wrong on their sexist parenting.
Yeah, I mean, on the other hand, you kind of want you don't want them to, because you want, but you don't want your kids ratting each other out. Like, that's not
right.
Like, you want them to support each other.
My sister totally would have ratted me out.
Sure, and she would have been right to do it. God damn it!
No,
you were out of line.
She is not a parent. She was my sister.
No, you shouldn't have gone to Mexico. This is on you.
I don't know.
Whatever. We don't believe that for a second.
I am not Brenda this episode. I am Andrea.
Very fair. So everybody gets kind of yelled at, right? Like, Kelly takes some shrapnel, as well she should, and Brandon gets yelled at a little bit, probably not enough, but a little bit.
Yeah.
And Jim and Cindy, I feel like every step they take is the wrong step.
Okay.
Trying to deal with this trying to deal with this situation. Like, yeah, Jim's right. Get fired up. But the minute you start saying you're not allowed to see each other is when you basically guarantee that they're going to see each other behind your back.
Uh-huh.
So, yes, you're grounded. Yes, there are new rules. Yes, you've lost my trust. You're going to have to earn that back. You can't see him anymore is stupid TV stuff. And because it doesn't work. And it doesn't work TV either. Spoilers, this is not the last time Brenda and Dylan are going to make out.
Well, and I love the fact that Dylan goes, it's fine. I'll see you tomorrow at school.
Because Dylan's like
dead eyes at Jim. Yeah, and I thought, fuck you, sir.
Yeah, you can't keep us apart, Jimbo. Yeah. And
should have called it Mrs. Teasley and been like, you put him in a study hall tomorrow, have the teachers bring his stuff to him.
That's right. I have all of his money. He can't bribe you.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like Brenda starts out trying to take responsibility. Like, I did this. This is on me. My fucking fault. But then she gets real shitty with Jim. Like, look, if you're the kid in trouble, you don't get to yell back at the parent when you did the thing wrong.
Nope.
Like, she knows she fucked up. She knows she did the wrong thing. And so does Dylan. He knows that they shouldn't have done this. He knows that Jim and Cindy are right to be pissed at him. But he doesn't want to own any of that. Not really. Like, he's, you can blame me, sir. But that's like, he knows that that's toothless. That doesn't mean anything. What's Jim going to do to him? Like, I'm going to go back to my Craftsman.
And like, I saw this when I worked with little kids. They know the things to say. Like, their own... One, kids aren't afraid enough of adults these days. But then two, like, I mean, they're definitely not afraid enough of Cindy and Jim, which at this point I'm like, yeah, I kind of see why, because like they'll yell at you for a minute and then backtrack because they're trying to be like both friend and parent, and maybe there's a balance to both. I don't know. I've never been tested on it. Yeah, I prefer the Mary Poppins route. I'm going to be firm, and then, we'll hop on a carousel if I feel like you're worthy.
Oh, I thought you were going to hire a nanny.
I am Mary Poppins. What are you?
Okay. I thought your parenting style was nanny. That's the Mary Poppins route.
No, I am Mary Poppins in this.
Go to the bank, get your hat punched out. Let her take care of the kids.
No. In this instance, I'm the Mary Poppins coming and going when the wind changes, having a chimney sweep partner, possibly causing emotional damage to these children, just leaving without a goodbye, but, bringing families together again.
Yep, for sure. Teach people to fly kites and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mary Poppins, lost my train of thought there. That's okay.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Cindy's reaction is self-pity at first. Right?
Yep.
You look stupid. Nobody cares that they made you look stupid, Cindy. When laying that guilt trip on your kid is that doesn't work.
No.
It's like, it's about the trust they violated. That's what it's about. Keep it to that. Don't make it that your relationship has gone too far and now we have to stop it, or you made me look stupid in front of the other guests. That's right. It just makes her look simpy. And then when Brenda lays it, is Dad the only one who is he wear the pants in this family? Who wears the pants in this family? HI. That's a Raising Arizona reference.
Okay.
It works. It works because Cindy is like, okay, I'll undermine everything that we're trying to do here as a unified parent front and write a letter to Dylan and have everyone in the house is conspiring against Jim to make this shit work. And really all they had to do was just wait.
Yeah.
If Dylan hadn't come to the wedding, if everyone hadn't been so invested in whether Dylan comes to this wedding that no one should have wanted to come to begin with, because fuck it.
The kids care way too much about this wedding. They
do. They get way too much about this wedding. And the need for Dylan to show up it's wrong-headed. And it's like, you've been grounded. And Brenda even went to Jim, and like she got them to the point where they were, it was okay enough.
Yeah.
If Dylan doesn't show up to the wedding, if he just stays home and he comes to the house a month later after everything's cooled down a little bit,
Yeah.
I think they're fine. I think everything is kind of fine.
Everyone needed space.
Yeah.
They needed time to cool off.
Mm-hmm.
It's all how you phrase things. It's like, okay, you all are only going to see each other at school right now. Or like, Brenda, you're not going to Dylan's. Dylan can come here and be supervised because no adult is ever nearby when they're all making out in that living room. God, I hope they clean it.
They do eventually in a montage, but
oh no!
Happen first. Yeah, a lot of shit has to happen in that living room before it gets totally cleaned.
Oh dear.
Yeah. No, I think yes, you can see Dylan here in this living room.
Yeah.
For a while. Until I feel like I can trust you again, which basically means until I'm no longer butthurt about this.
Yeah.
Because like you're still gonna wonder. Like, but the way to solve the trust issue is communication, not edicts. And Jim keeps trying edicts. And they also don't understand why Dylan's upset. Brenda doesn't get it. Cindy doesn't get it. Jim doesn't get it. And Dylan says it over and over again. He's like, I feel like you guys loved me and now I don't feel that anymore. I put my trust in you and I made one mistake and you're like, fuck off, Dylan.
He's the kid where you have to rethink your parenting style or teaching style because you're like, oh shit, I've really hurt you with things that you think I've said.
Mm-hmm.
But all the same, your feelings are valid because like he regresses so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, but at the same time, this is where I feel like Jim and Cindy should have been like, listen, yes, we care about you. We consider you part of this family. However, we are not your parents.
Mm-hmm.
We have to parent our own children first.
Yeah.
Like,
mm-hmm.
But that's where I would also yell at, like, I would call up his mom and be like, hey, remember this kid you have? And I know you don't want to try, but, like, we're not his parents.
Yeah.
Someone needs to come back and do something.
Yeah. Or talk to him. Like, you know, have a relationship with your child so that he doesn't feel like we're his only family.
Yeah.
Because it's not healthy. And the fact that I'm controlling his money complicates things.
Uh-huh.
And it's an unnecessary complication. And Brenda and Cindy are like, his pride is hurt. No, it's not. It's not about his pride. He feels abandoned again. And he's telling you this. And we've seen it over the course of the entire season. I mentioned this early on. And I think we're probably into what this is really about. Because I think the idea of his pride being in play here is part of, you know, as John Lennon said, pride can hurt you too. John was real hung up on pride as a problem that he had to overcome in early Beatles songs. If you listen to it, he mentions pride a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so, but Dylan's not proud. He's vulnerable. He's hurt.
Yeah.
And I pointed this out at the beginning of the season because I know where the season ends with Jim and Dylan yelling at each other. But the evolution of their relationship and Dylan's relationship with parents in general is a lot of what this season is about. You know?
Yeah.
Like he starts off on their couch. Well, he starts off in the doghouse because he might have knocked up their daughter.
Yeah.
And Jim forbids it again. Jim's he forbids. I forbid things. Why does everything I forbid always happen?
I'm a man. This is the thing I do as a father. I forbid things for my daughter because that's the only thing I was taught to do with a daughter.
Mm-hmm. Forbid.
Yep.
Yeah. So they start off on this rocky place, and then Cindy first time undermines Jim and brings Dylan into the house, all injured and sexy. And they make out, and Jim catches them. I mean, the living room is not a solution, apparently, to keeping them from making out because they're in front of God and everybody. And they repair that a little bit. And then Iris comes to town and is a mess and abandons Dylan again, leaving him in a spiral. Like, Dylan is not doing well for like the first half of this season. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
And then he kind of comes to terms with his dad a little bit, which helps. He gets a little bit of solidity there, and things smooth out, even out with him and the Walshes, and he feels connected. He feels safer. So we don't have a lot of Dylan drama in the second half of the season because he's comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, plus other people have to get held up at gunpoint. It's not his turn.
Or, you know, lose their marbles and get sent away to a institution.
Exactly. Yeah, somebody else has to almost burn down the parade float, not Dylan this time.
Yeah.
And everything's great. Like, he is part of the Walsh family. And then Brenda fucks him. Because Dylan the whole time is like, just tell your parents.
Yeah.
Just tell them. Just tell them we're going to go. Like, which is terrible advice. Like, because if they say no, they said no. But it's better than just don't tell them. Like, the better advice than what Donna gives her, which is sneak around behind their back. And
it's almost like they were foreshadowing with them dressing up as Bonnie and Clyde.
Just straight criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're getting shot.
Do what we want.
It's of Jim's love. Yeah. And then Jim goes full Jim and forbids shit. And now Dylan is, even at the point at the very end where they're just about there, Dylan is still feeling betrayed.
Yeah.
And there's only one kind of parental reaction that he understands, and that's getting walloped.
Yeah.
And when he comes at Jim like that, Jim, instead of de-escalating things and saying something like, I understand that that's how you've been parented before, but that's not what I do. That's not what I'm going to do. Like, maybe Jim hugs him.
Yeah.
Instead, at that moment. But then it blows up because Jim doesn't know how to fucking deal with anything.
No.
And so Dylan is kind of right back where he started at the end of this season, from the beginning of the season. He has this whole relationship with the Walsh family that is once again left in tatters by the things he and Brenda decide to do together.
Yeah.
And so Brenda is just fucking people up.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to not be a problem, I think.
Because she's been allowed to get away with stuff. I feel like she hasn't really had to face many consequences.
Yeah.
Like, it's awful, some of the shit that she has seen and it has happened, some of the shit that has happened to her, but at the same time, like, no one is following up going, okay, well, let's talk about why this probably happened. Like, okay, you had a pregnancy scare. How do we move forward from this and make sure this doesn't happen again? Because telling you not to have sex is going to be pointless. Forbidding you from seeing him is also going to be pointless. Like,
yeah, you want to empower your kids to make good decisions. Forbid them from making groin decisions.
Wow.
I mean, that's, it's all driven by the thrust.
Sure.
I mean, they can't, again, Brendan and Dylan can't stop making out all year. Like they
Valid.
string quartet to try to stop making out. They get arrested in Mexico and they can't stop making out.
No.
Like, these two kids are horn dogs. And you can't fight horny with logic.
No.
It's just, that's not how that works. And you can't fight horny with mandates either. Like that doesn't. No. That's not getting it done, Jimbo.
I mean, it works in Liz Estrada.
Does it? I don't know. I got bored.
I mean, that's fair, but it supposedly works.
Yeah. All right. Well, but that's not Jim making that decision. That would be Brenda making that decision.
That's true.
Right? Brenda and Kelly and Donna would all have to come to Donna's side of things.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and we don't want that. So there's another thing here that happens this season that is interesting to me, and that's that these kids keep fucking with Jim's money. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Like they get all up in his Chick Snyder business in season 1.
Yep.
Client. His son goes to war with him over High Point Center, and
destroys his car twice.
Yes. Convinces Jim not to take the promotion that keeps them in Beverly Hills instead of moving back home. And the only job that I understand Jim to have is managing Dylan's money, and now they're taking that away too. Like, there's no amount of work that Jim can get that these kids will not fuck with. Yeah.
Because they seem, even though they want to be rich and they want to be living like everyone else who goes to West Bev, except Andrea. Mm-hmm. Andrea's not rich. But at the same time, like, they're so far from poor. Like, they are... if that was the standard of middle class in the 90s, that's pretty fucking great.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
Yeah, they're doing pretty great. They've got a nice house. On
a single family, on a single income.
Yeah, they're doing really great.
Yeah, but every time Jim tries to get ahead, these kids, they fuck with his money, and that is not. I could. Maybe that's what really sets Jim off. It's like he's mad at Dylan until Dylan is like, "Take your hands off my money," and Jim's like, "That's my only job."
Yeah, that's what the money's for.
That's right. Yeah, I feel bad for Jim. Like, he needs a different job that doesn't impact his children in any way, shape, or form.
He needs to have some discussions about privilege with them. Like, hey, you like this house? You like having a closet full of clothes so that you don't have to wear the same thing every day or even every week? Like, we saw Brenda's closet. That's a lot.
Yeah. And she didn't shoplift all that stuff, just some of it.
Yeah. So if you still want these nice things, stop fucking with the money.
Yeah. Let me work with Chick Schneider sweatshops.
Like, you can have your own ideals. Unfortunately, I am taking care of you all. And I imagine you think I'm going to pay for college.
Right.
So back off.
Right.
Work on your own ideals. And then when you are taking care of yourself, you can decide whether or not to keep implementing those.
Yeah.
It's like, because I get where the kids are coming from, but I never would have been that way with my parents. Like, I can't believe you'd sell out. Like, no, I liked having a house. I liked having a car.
Yeah.
Hell, my niece is already making plans to go into a prolific career because she likes having her nice, cushy lifestyle.
Right.
Like, that's smart. Good luck. You may hate your life, but
yeah,
you'll
be
cushy.
Happiness, but it be poor. Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel bad for Jim because he just keeps doing dumb shit, and like his parenting is not going to get better. Just
no.
Oh,
I mean, I had a feeling from the hints that you've dropped.
Yeah, the suspect parenting choices that are made at the beginning of season 3 are next level for me. So get ready.
Do you think it's because on a teen drama, they are really fighting to not make parents the enemy?
I mean, they're trying to walk a fine line because this whole season is about the complicated relationships between parents and kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that the actions of the parents impact the kids. Like that it happens over and over and over again. Like it is, first, like everything that Felice does, right? The condom crusade abstinence lady who then cheats on her husband and is gonna like get a like Donna has never had a problem until Felice.
Yeah.
She has problems. David and Kelly are dealing with all sorts of stuff because of what their parents are involved in, namely each other. Steve is sent running to New Mexico because his mom wasn't upfront with him about his adoption.
Yeah.
Fucking Chucky knew.
Fucking Chucky.
And, obviously we saw what happens when Dylan has to deal with parents. Like, this kid starts playing pool, for God's sake.
He blows up.
Yeah. And then Jim and Cindy constantly in there just doing stuff. They almost tore down the Peach Pit because of Jim. Can't do that. It's the only set these people have to go to that's not a school.
Always opening their homes to too many people, and then they wonder why their kids offer up, like, you can have the wedding here.
Mm-hmm. And then let's not ignore, even though we've all agreed to ignore, the fact that Scott killed himself on his birthday because his dad left a loaded gun in his desk.
Yeah.
Like, this whole season has been most of the drama has not been between the kids.
No.
It's been because the parents are doing stuff that the kids are then having to deal with.
Yeah.
And here at the end, the parents are having to deal with shit that the kids did, and try to parent. But also, everyone is dealing with Mel and Jackie's wedding.
Yeah.
Like, it is a constant barrage of parent on child stuff. Like, you're just constantly dealing with stuff. And I think that that's kind of what the season was trying to do.
Yeah. Well, and so it's more or less, I'm going to make it segue into what I think this episode is about. I don't know about the whole season, but this episode is definitely, I feel, about acceptance.
Okay.
And, not in the way that we all think it's going to look, which is, oh, I'm okay with this happening. No, sometimes you have to accept that shitty things are going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Not talking to myself at all here. But the Walshes have to accept we are hosting this wedding.
Right.
For better or for worse, we are hosting this wedding. Brenda and Dylan have to accept that a breakup might be in their future.
Or that there are at the very least consequences to their actions.
Yes. Yeah. Kelly has to accept that Jackie's getting married. She's really struggling with that, and it would be great if they would all just fucking talk about it instead of like her hiding in a new beau. Which is just going to be another thing she has to accept because he's got some weird baggage we don't know about, and he seems to think that she's okay with it. And I went, what conversation did I miss?
Although in Jake's defense, he does keep warning her that he's a big fucking mess.
Okay. I don't know if it's just because I'm an adult.
Right.
And the older you get, the more averse to bullshit. But like, when he told her, you're dangerous, I'm like, fuck, I know that sounds so hot to her, but at the same time, it's like, Kelly, he's telling you everything you need to know, and you are ignoring it.
Yeah.
Good kisser. Enjoy it for now.
He has nice hair, good butt, whatever.
Like, he's a handsome guy. He looks distinctly older than her.
Sure.
which might be the appeal, but
Mhm.
I'm not happy about it. You know, but I'm accepting it because it's in the story clearly. See what I did there?
Yeah, acceptance is important. I get it.
And then Andrea has to accept that she is part of the group, even though
Yeah.
her insecurities tell her, like, these people are not your friends. You've never
Mhm.
had friends here. You're on your own. And it's like, oh, wait, no, I was invited. Maybe I should have just said something and we could have figured this out sooner. Or maybe
Yeah,
just trust that, like, these people, because that scene between her and Kelly was really sweet.
it
Like,
was. We were wondering why we hadn't heard from you.
like, well, once again, say something. You all have no problem spouting out your parents' shit, but in terms of your own feelings, unless you're Kelly and Brenda, you're not communicating that.
Right. No, that's true.
I want Andrea and Kelly to be closer friends because
Mm.
Kelly and Brenda are bad for each other. Much like I think Brenda and Dylan might be bad for each other. Hot
It
take.
might be. Hot take. Uh, yeah, I'm not going to say anything because season 3 is coming
I know.
and things are going to happen.
Listen. I know they're all gonna date other people at some point because the internet is the internet, and I can't help it what photos show up.
Gotcha.
So I'm eager to see how we get to other relationships
Mm-hmm.
because also be very interested to see if once again Dawson's Creek kind of copies what Beverly. No,
Okay.
don't talk shit about my favorite teen drama. You know, in season 3 of Dawson's Creek, we get the buildup of Pacey and Joey
Uh-huh.
discovering that they love each other, and
Gotcha.
that they in the whole thing keeping them apart is like, but Dawson, until finally end of the season. So
Gotcha.
I feel like something like that is going to happen. I won't say with who because
Okay.
everyone else already knows, and it's not going to be impressive if I predict. I'm just going to say I think this next season is going to be Brenda and Dylan broken up, and then Dylan falling for someone else who is hurt by a certain someone who is only passing through town.
Okay.
And then they're both going to be worried about hurting a certain ex.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
well, I
that's
guess
my prediction. We'll see.
I guess we'll write it down on the things Leslie predicts. So here's another thing that somebody accepts in this episode. Steve, he finally accepts that he's not getting. They're never ever back together.
Like ever.
Like he's finally like he has grokked this. This is in him now. He understands it. They're not getting back together. But Kelly, with words from the writers who want to leave options open, says, "Well, you never know." Because
oh my god,
I mean, Kelly, shut up. Like you know that you don't want to get back together with Steve. We all know it. And Brandon's like, "Fucking thank God, Steve. Move on."
I mean, that kind of felt like she knows Steve, and she was like, "I'm just gonna stroke your ego." Like, oh, you never know.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean,
know.
I know, and she knows, but the writers don't know what they're going to do in season 8. So they're like, maybe let's just leave it open, just in case.
Oh God.
Yeah. Although they never thought this far in advance. Don't fool yourself. But I do think that was them leaving the door open in case they felt like it later. You know. But
also, Kelly accepts that David is part of the group now.
the transformation of David Silver is complete. He has gone from geek outcast to fully in the group. He's actually even a little cool now.
No, let's not go that far.
Well, that's what Kelly thinks. Kelly thinks he's a little cool now.
Cool is overrated. Stay nerdy.
Yeah, but David's not nerdy. You know what I mean? He was just a freshman, but he was never into nerd shit. Like he's always been into like music and video and
I would say he's geeky then, because like when you're in high school and you're passionate about anything, you're a geek.
literally anything. Yeah.
Literally, I mean, I was a theater geek, choir nerd, like, again, you say these things so that other people can't say them about you.
That's right. Yeah, you label yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon is interesting in this episode in that he doesn't yell at anybody. He just backs up Jim. And it's what he did at the end of season 1 too, right? He's like, I'm taking Jim's side on this one. I'm supporting my parents. And most of the time, like, he'll rebel against anything that an adult says, especially if Chick Snyder's involved.
Yeah.
But in this one, he's like, Dylan, you guys fucked them. Like, what you did sucked.
Yeah.
And my mom and dad are right to be mad at you.
Yeah.
And he's right. They are right to be mad at Dylan and Brenda. They fucked up.
Absolutely.
And Brandon's right. Give it some time. It's fine. This will all blow over, even though you took their daughter to a foreign country and got stuck there.
Yeah.
This will blow over.
Yeah.
Because, like, not for nothing, like 3 weeks ago, their daughter was held up at gunpoint. So,
right.
They got to be a little nervous, but also the outcome of this was not that. Like, this is, of all the ways this could have gone bad, this was the best case scenario for Jim and Cindy.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't hurt, she wasn't robbed, she wasn't killed, she wasn't kidnapped, she wasn't, whatever, she wasn't knocked up. She was just detained at the border because she didn't have her driver's license. Like, yeah. And that wouldn't have been a problem if they hadn't decided to fucking go to Mexico. Like, if they had just gone to, if they'd gone to San Diego, like, it would have been fine.
Would have been fine.
No problem. Go to Comic-Con, kids.
Yeah.
I bet you can surf in San Diego. I bet 100% that happens.
I would bet you can probably surf anywhere along the California coast.
I would think so. There's lots of places. You don't have to go to Baja.
It's an ocean.
And none of those places require you to have an ID with you. So don't be a fuck up, kids, is sort of the answer here. I don't know, is there anything else that this episode might have been about? Or this season might have been about?
I feel like we covered the biggest things, like you said, with it's not even so much what's happening between the kids, it's how the kids are reacting to stuff the adults did.
Yeah, a lot of it. I've never thought of the season in that way, but it happens over and over and over again. Which,
you do become more aware of what your parents are doing when you're in high school, and you want so badly to be seen as an adult, and yet that's going to come with a lot of responsibility in more ways than you can fathom. And that might mean, oh shit, I just caught my parent cheating.
Right.
Might result in your death.
Right. Yeah. Look at this gun I found. R.I.P. Scott. All right. So I want to know how you felt about season 2. In comparison to season 1, where are you at now with Matt 210?
So much better. I mean,
right?
It's so ridiculous, but I like the ridiculous. It's fun. I saw photos from the first episode the other day, and I was like, damn, the hair has already gotten so much better. It's like Brandon. Oh my God. Yeah. His hair was so bad. And her bangs were just like, I don't know. Listen, I think whoever did her bangs that first episode set off the bad behavior that's going to continue backstage.
I thought you were going to call it a war crime.
No, okay. It's not that bad. Listen, everyone has bad hairstyles at some point, like, and even if it was something that was in style at the time, we're judgmental of past looks.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think it was. I don't think those bangs ever were like the move.
no, those bangs were totally the move, just not with that length of hair. Like you would probably have a blunt cut bob
Mm,
along with it.
gotcha.
Yeah. Like where I think Brenda's character is going to go if she did, I know she's not going to. But if she was going to do a blunt cut bob, those bangs would work well with that again.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in a high point. You're ready for season 3.
Oh yeah, I'm super psyched for how much more insane it's going to get. Because again, all I see are photos. I'm pretty good at hiding from the things that explain anything. And the few things I've mentioned to you, you're just like, either hold off or forget that, or that isn't what you think it is.
Oh, that's a dream sequence.
Yeah. So it's really funny. Like, I've seen photos of Brenda smoking, and I'm like, I can't wait to see Brenda go full bitch. I can't wait. Because she's doing the thing right now of like, it's the villain before they know they're the villain.
Mm.
And I don't want her to be the villain because it sets a bad precedent for brunettes everywhere.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Brenda might go where I wish I could have gone in high school. So yeah,
Oh, interesting.
here for it. I want to see the anger.
Gotcha. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, smallest of spoilers. We're going back to the beach next week. So
Of course.
it's fucking summertime. Guess what, Henry? It's time. You're gonna have to deal with Brandon's bullshit again.
I can't believe Henry's going to be back. Like, why is Nat allowing Brandon to leave him again?
Because Nat understands.
Love. I get, okay. Nat is, you know what? Once again, Nat, I texted you this. Nat is just all about making bad financial decisions. As long as he gets to keep his business, which a lot of people get to keep their businesses, even if they're making poor choices. But he's like, they don't want my free peach pies. You were in a position to get a pie.
That's true. Yeah, you've had a whole 3-episode arc of having financial woes, and you're just like,
I'm gonna give that much.
Yeah.
Completely. But I'm excited to see Chief Weber again. I wonder where he is on his medical journey. I guess Alice has left him. Yeah.
I love fucking Henry. Henry's the best. But Nat's also the best. There's 2 bests.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's good.
I can't say I had as inspiring or comforting of employers when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But, wasn't my life's work, so I had fun with them. They thought I was delightful.
They can't all be Henry or Nat.
No, they can't.
No. All right, so what did this episode make you nostalgic for?
So I would say my one serious boyfriend in high school was not favored. I won't say by who, but he did not have fans. And while it wasn't... Oh, yeah. It wasn't stated that you are not to see him. I had... I don't know if this was a healthy dose of fear. I was afraid and didn't want to rock the boat. However, once school started back up, we were definitely those kids making out in the auditorium before school started.
Right.
Not everywhere. Because everyone else was the problem, not us. So,
gotcha. Sure.
Got to school early, made out. It's a great start to the day.
There you go.
It didn't work out, but good times, Yeah,
it did. Totally worked out. You didn't want to be with that guy now.
No, it, sorry to you, sir. It never would have worked.
Nope. Hey, Walter, you're good. It worked out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What does this make me nostalgic for? Like, not much. Like,
Oh.
I don't know. I don't have a big nostalgia pull for this one. Like, because I'm not the biggest of wedding people. Like, weddings are fine, but
They're fun.
they're most they're mostly like a lot of effort and a lot of work for like food that's all right, and I got to wear a suit, and I don't want to do that, and like gonna have to dance to Cool in the Gang, and like because I don't think anyone's officially married until Celebrate comes on, so like that has to happen, and I guess that's it. I'm nostalgic for hearing "Celebrate" by Cool and the Gang because I haven't been to a wedding in a minute, and I'm kind of okay with that in every other aspect. But
See, I'm not.
I hope that
If we get big enough that people want to invite us to weddings, I will totally go because I love the dance floor. That is
okay.
where I live. Like, yeah,
I
that
live
is where I'm
sitting next to the. You know where I live. I live sitting next to the dance floor. Sitting. Yeah. Oh, there you go. You know what my green room is? My green room is tiny little ham sandwiches. That's my green room.
nice.
It's the Southern Indiana wedding staple of tiny little ham sandwiches. That's what I like about weddings. Is those like you get those and you sit next to the dance floor and you just eat a shit ton of ham sandwiches. That's what I like.
Nice.
All right, who is your Steve Sanders Memorial worst person of the episode?
It's Dylan. Like, okay. I know he's hurting, but he should have known better. He shouldn't have encouraged Brenda to lie, or not even to lie, but to just say, like, let's just go anyway. Just tell them we're going. Like, sir,
right.
Her parents are not yours, are not like yours, and that they're actually in her life. And also, like, again, I don't know if you've noticed this, they're super protective of her.
Yeah.
Like,
but also not that strict.
Yeah. Yeah. And I felt like he was really rude to Jim. He really should have just not gone to this wedding because it clearly ignited things in him that were there. Like, he went full bad boy, and it culminated in him running and jumping into his car, which I was like, of course you just did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
you don't have time to open
Dylan,
the door, God damn it.
And also, like, he hurts Brenda at the end of it all because he's hurting, and I'm like, not the way to handle this. Don't take it out on her. Yeah. No, I'm sorry, Dylan. You're the worst for me this episode.
For me, it's Brenda. I mean, you're not wrong about any of the things you said about Dylan, but like, it's Brenda's fault. All of it. Like, she's the one who lied. She's the one who forgot her license. She's the one who got Kelly involved. She's the one who got Brandon involved. She's the one who pushed for Dylan to come to this wedding. She's the one who kept going back and not letting Well Enough be alone and just letting this thing settle.
Yeah.
Brenda calms the fuck down at any point. All of this smooths out.
Yeah.
So, Dylan is a walking wound in this episode. And Jim is the salt being poured into that wound. But Brenda's the one shaking the salt canister.
Yeah.
And so Brenda is, for me, the worst person of the episode.
Valid.
I don't think we have decided what we're watching this week.
No, we have not.
For Wedding Bell Blues. So I guess join us on Friday for a surprise, because at present we have not figured this one out yet. Probably something wedding related, but who the hell knows?
Totally.
Can't think of any other things to do in this episode. Well, you know what? Maybe we find something Denise Richards was in.
Well, I was thinking we could watch. I think it's Girls Just Want to Have Fun with.
I don't know.
Denise. Uh, it's the one where girls are like competing in a beauty pageant. There's a ton of women from that time in it.
Oh,
I'll look it up, but yeah, Denise Richards is a
yep.
decent part.
She shows up in this episode in her 19020 cameo.
Yeah.
So we could watch Wild Things, but that wouldn't have anything to do with this movie or this episode, other than Denise Richards. So join us on Friday for that. And but beyond that, join us next week when we will be watching season 3, episode 1, Misery Loves Company.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Someone's going to be a mopey sad sack in this episode, I bet.
Me. Oh no, sorry, not about me.
How about you? But until then, Cheesemeisters.
Bye.
Bye.